What have been the best casting decisions with regards to actors portraying real-life mobsters in movies and TV shows? And, hypothetically speaking, who would be great to play historical gangsters in future films? Let's check it out. Welcome to OC Shorts, bringing you detailed historical snapshots of the American Mafia and other organised crime. Feel free to subscribe if you like that sort of thing. Today, we're going to take a quick look at a selection of casting decisions with regards to actors portraying real-life mobsters in movies and TV shows. And then ask the question, who would be a great choice to play historical gangsters in hypothetical future films? When enthusiasts of mob history hear that a new film about real-life gangsters is to be made, the first thing they look for is which actors will be cast to play the mobsters in the movie. There is often debate as to whether the actor cast should actually look like the person they are portraying. Let's check out a few examples. Over the years, there have been numerous portrayals of Al Capone, as well as characters inspired by him. Personally, I enjoyed Robert De Niro's version of Capone in the highly fictionalized movie The Untouchables. Robert De Niro insisted on wearing suits provided by Capone's original tailor, Henry Stewart of New York, and even wore the same style of silk underwear as Capone, even though it would never be seen on screen. De Niro's suits were cut from the exact same original designs as Capone's. However, Giorgio Armani designed the wardrobe for the rest of the cast, and took all the plaudits. Henry Stewart, Capone's tailor, would later say, "I was sitting in the theatre during the premiere of the film. De Niro had even given me the tickets, and everyone started applauding when Armani's name came on the credits. I felt like a real dummy." Anyway, despite enjoying De Niro's version of Capone and his dedication to the role, I believe that Stephen Graham's portrayal in Boardwalk Empire may very well be the best Capone we've seen on screen so far. However, for those who enjoy historical accuracy, then Stephen Graham was too short for the role. The excellent Graham is only 5'6", whereas in real life Capone was a little over 5'10", and quite a large man physically, as shown in these official documents. Capone is often portrayed in certain aspects of the media as a short individual, but this really wasn't the case. In the 1920s, the average height for a man was 5'7", and so, at just over 5'10", Capone was definitely above average height for a man of his era. Facially, Stephen Graham looks nothing like Capone. But does this detract from his great performance? Is this actually important to the audience? Sticking with Stephen Graham, he also delivered a superb performance of another real-life mobster, this time as Genovese crime family powerhouse, Anthony Tony Pro Provenzano, in Martin Scorsese's movie The Irishman. Stephen Graham admitted to feeling the pressure when playing Tony Pro, as fellow castmate Joe Pesci had also wanted to play that role. Pesci summoned Stephen Graham to a meeting and told him, "I knew Tony Pro, so make sure you do a good job." However, when filming started, Joe Pesci was suitably impressed with Stephen Graham's portrayal of Tony Provenzano, that he told him he was doing a good job and invited him to dinner. The character Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas is based on real-life mobster Tommy DeSimone, as most of you are aware. In the movie, Tommy is portrayed by Joe Pesci, who was around 45 years old at the time, despite the fact that in the majority of the film, Tommy would have been in his 20s and was killed at the age of 28. Joe Pesci is also only 5'3", whereas in real life, Tommy DeSimone was closer to 6'4", and looked nothing like Pesci. And yet, does this actually matter? Joe Pesci's superb and frightening performance of psychopath Tommy kept viewers on the edge of their seats. The following is how mob associate Henry Hill described Tommy DeSimone. Tommy DeSimone was fucking animalistic, deranged, vicious, and fearless about killing, hurting, and going after people too. It didn't matter who you were, or what you were, or who you were with. He'd go after you and kill you, even if it took him forever to do it. He was relentless. If you annoyed him or pissed him off, he'd kill you on the spot without hesitation. He'd kill you with a gun, a knife, a baseball bat, a lead pipe, brass knuckles, even his fists. He was tough as nails too. He was one tough, treacherous motherfucker. He was a true force to be reckoned with. He'd beat the shit out of any man, no matter how big a guy might be or how tough a guy might be. Tommy would always fight them in a heartbeat and always find a way to win. From the film, it's clear that Joe Pesci definitely captured the essence of Tommy, even if he looked nothing like him. Joe Pesci portrayed another real-life mobster in the film Casino. In the movie, he plays Nicky Santoro, who, as everyone knows, is based on real-life Chicago outfit mobster Anthony Spilotro. By all accounts, Pesci nailed what Spilotro was really like, and delivers another superb performance. In this instance, Pesci physically resembled Spilotro more than he did when he played Tommy. And so, do audiences feel that this actually added to his portrayal? With regards to hypothetical films, it is a shame that a movie or TV series was never made 30 years ago about Philadelphia mobster Nicky Scarfo, as Joe Pesci would have been a great choice to play the greatly feared diminutive mobster. Charlie Luciano has been portrayed numerous times in film and TV, with varying degrees of success. In the last few seasons of Boardwalk Empire, Vincent Piazza does a great job of the legendary mobster. However, it is his portrayal of Luciano in the first two seasons that I personally have issues with. Piazza's Luciano, especially in the first season, is petulant, oafish, and short-tempered, flying off the handle at the slightest thing. In contrast, in real life, Charlie Luciano's psychological evaluation states that he was rather a sociopath than a psychopath, that he had bright intelligence, with calmness at times of stress, as well as reserve and strength. All of which is the polar opposite of the version we see on screen in Season 1 of Boardwalk Empire. The assumption can be made that the writers wanted Piazza's Luciano to have a character arc, where Luciano develops into a more mature, level-headed mobster as the seasons progress, rather than be historically accurate. Aesthetically though, Vincent Piazza is certainly well cast as Luciano, as opposed to Christian Slater in the highly fictionalized movie Mobsters. Two of the most famous portrayals of John Gotti come from Armand Assante in the 1996 HBO film Gotti, and John Travolta in the 2018 Gotti movie. Travolta received a lot of criticism for his portrayal, although perhaps it was the whole film that many viewers hated. Whereas Armand Assante is often lauded for his version of Gotti in the excellent HBO film. Personally, I would say that Assante's Gotti is a little too smooth and polished. Undoubtedly, John Gotti was a very charismatic guy, but from listening to wiretaps of him, he was also an angry, abusive tyrant. Characteristics that I felt were missing from Assante's excellent performance. As much as I enjoyed the movie Donnie Brasco, Al Pacino's portrayal of Benjamin Lefty Ruggiero is a far cry from the real-life mobster. Ignoring their physical differences, Pacino is 5'7", and the real Lefty was a lean 6 foot. Pacino's version has Ruggiero coming across like a bit of a buffoon, who craves respect he never receives from his mob colleagues. In reality, Ruggiero was a feared killer, who was respected and was definitely no buffoon. One piece of casting that pleasantly surprised me was that of stand-up comedian Sebastian Maniscalco as Crazy Joe Gallo in The Irishman. Although a small part, I felt that he did a great job of portraying Joey Gallo. Not that I knew him, of course, but from my research of Gallo, Maniscalco's performance was a close match to the real-life mobster. In a perfect world, it would be great if an actor could resemble the real-life mobster that they are portraying. Although, as the likes of Stephen Graham and Joe Pesci have shown, it doesn't actually matter. But for a bit of fun, here are my own suggestions for actors to play real-life historical gangsters. Feel free to disagree in the comments below. The always excellent John Bernthal as Colombo family powerhouse Sonny Franzese. William DeMeo to play Carlo Gambino. Interestingly, William DeMeo actually portrayed a young Carlo Gambino in the TV movie Boss of Bosses about Paul Castellano. British character actor Mark Strong to portray Genovese family powerhouse Thomas Tommy Ryan Eberle. And finally, Chaz Palminteri as an aging Vincent Chin Gigante. Rumour has it that Palminteri actually knew Gigante, and so that could only add to his performance. Anyway, as mentioned, this is just a bit of fun. Please feel free to add your suggestions in the comments below, along with some of your favourite performances from actors as real-life mobsters. I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching.